So this is a Pulitzer Prize winner and pretty major screenwriter. Basically, come out and slams. This is an older article. Slams wokeism, but recently, so he's consistent. He also bashes Hollywood's DEI initiative. Says it's fascist totalitarianism. Pretty bang on, to be honest. Culture, do you want to give a rundown of who this chap is and why
David Mamet's an incredible screenwriter, playwright, just a general writer. He writes dialogue brilliantly. There are probably only two people right now in modern media that can write dialogue for television and film the way that he can. He's one of the two. The other one would be Aaron Sorkin. But it's always very it's almost like being assaulted with words, the conversations that he writes for his characters. So you're literally engaged in what they're doing. And when he writes so eloquently that I've always admired him, but he's also come out really hard recently in the last 4 months in particular against the DEI initiatives. And here this is his quote: "It's fascist totalitarianism when it comes to DEI."
That's such a great way of putting it. It really is.
You know, and he's not wrong. And this dude just assaults people. And mind you, he said similar, the wokeism thing came out of a Marr interview, right? But he was at this book festival thing that is, I think, held by the Times, and he says this line: "I can't give you a stupid effing statue unless you have 7% of this, 8% of that. It's intrusive." He says the film industry has little business improving everybody's racial understanding, as does the fire department.
DI is garbage.
Yep.
And where's the lie? No lie detected. Where's the lie? What a fantastic way of putting it. I mean, we see this subversive sort of social push. The sort of the push for social change in everything, more so in the film industry, than most things. But he's right. The film industry is a little business improving everybody's racial understanding. I mean, obviously he's talking from that perspective, but it's not just that. It goes into everything. He says DEI, like it's also the LGBTQ plus IA, blah blah blah, alphabeti spaghetti nonsense as well. Like it's absolutely everything. And he's addressing here very specifically the Oscars now, because they're sort of body sanctioned racism and sexism has now come into force this year, which was a massive thing, which they released a few years ago, but now it's come into force this year. So they gave people warning to get used to doing it. And so when we say that there's quotas in films, ladies and gentlemen, we say, of course someone's going to be black, of course someone's going to be gay, of course someone's going to be a strong female, of course there's not going to be many strong white men. That's because they literally have a quota for it. And it's creative bankruptcy at the end of the day. Nothing is better for it. There's a few trains of thought when it comes to business and art specifically. Ideology over financial or creative. And the film industry has chosen ideology over the creative arts and the pursuit for creative freedom. And it will be stifling. And as he says, sort of fascist totalitarianism, it's the same sort of concept. Brutally shit. Awful. But funny that he's coming out and saying it. And again, he said these other comments. What was it? Where wokeism is the worst thing I've seen in my life. Pretty much just straight down the line there. Thoughts? We'll go to you first.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think did you say creatively corrupt?
Creatively bankrupt.
Bankrupt. Sorry, creatively bankrupt. No, that's a good way of putting it. I think morally bankrupt as well. I think intellectually backward. It's at odds with sort of artistry or really the creative process. It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's designed to destroy. It's obviously not good. And that's for, if he was specifically talking there about the Oscars, I mean, I've always thought that all award ceremonies are nonsense.
Oh, they really are. It's a circle jerk. It's just a circle jerk.
All award ceremonies. I'd be one of those people that just wouldn't turn up to them. I didn't, for my graduations, I didn't go to the thing. I'm not interested. It's not what it's about. It's self-congratulatory stuff is kind of gross. There's a
narcissistic, I guess, to a degree as well.
Yeah, narcissistic, whatever you want to say. There's a great clip where Jerry Seinfeld, when some sort of years ago, back in the early 2000s, I think it was, Jerry Seinfeld was given some sort of HBO Lifetime Award thing. And he used his speech, it's on YouTube, he uses his speech to just rip the very concept of award ceremonies. And it's just spot on, you know, absolutely spot on. I advise anyone sort of search for that and find that. But yeah, this guy, Mamet, yeah, he's right. It's a nonsense and it's weird. It's beyond sort of annoying. It's beyond sort of nonsense. It's beyond sort of morally bankrupt or creatively bankrupt. It's kind of evil. You know, I reserve that word because it's a very, very strong word.
Yeah.
To call something, you know, to call it evil, but I do think it is. I'll let someone else speak.
No, I think you're right. It is evil. And one of the sort of DEI is an abbreviation or whatever you want to call it. I think it's important to reframe it. And I know, Tom, we'll go to you in a minute, but you're a big proponent of this. Didn't earn it. That's what DEI stands for, because it is true. Anyone who's been hired under a DEI initiative, they didn't earn it. They genuinely did not earn it. And that's what it actually stands for. So,
Tom. Yeah, I mean, that was part of the participation trophy generation or whatever you want to call it. Started about 30, 40 years ago, roughly. And then they slowly phased out competitive sports, arts, other things like that. Now we've gotten to the point where they phased out education. I mean, David's not wrong here. I mean, it's silly. It's stupid. We were already at a place where was everything perfect? No. But I would say we had made leaps and bounds from where we were. I never thought in a million years we'd be having these kind of conversations that we're having in this day and age. I thought we'd be way past most of this stuff by now. I figured our bigger issues right now would be, should we have flying cars?
Yeah, I mean, 2024, I say it at the start of some videos here and there, and I think I've written it on Twitter. But what we are seeing are the end days. We are actually seeing what leads to civilizational ruin. We are, genuinely. And it cannot be overstated. Like, I absolutely firmly believe that. We are seeing the beginning of the end. Civilizational ruin happening quite literally in front of our eyes. You know, it'll be in our lifetime. It will be in our lifetime. And it was all done for nonsense, for absolutely pathetic, morally bankrupt, just bogus reasons. All an experiment, a gigantic, evil social experiment because people hate, you know, what, because DEI is just less white people. So I guess hate white people, I guess, however you want to look at it. It is what it is. Dog shit.
Can I add something just to build on that?
Yeah.
Super quick, just to say sort of civilizational end in the end of civilization, Western civilization. They're not looking to destroy the culture and heritage of Nigeria, for example, or Bangladesh. No, it's Western civilization specifically. And the idea that DEI is or diversity is at odds with absolutely at odds with meritocracy. The idea of doing a job well for its own sake. The very concept of the right tool for the right job. No, we're just going to make it diverse. And it doesn't matter how much that destroys the thing. And we're going to do it, as David Mamet says, in a totalitarian form. It will be imposed from above. And you cannot you have to give into it. Yeah, that is totalitarian. So yeah, it's not wrong. Anyway, sorry. I've got something else
No. Or no, input is appreciated. Nick, do you have anything on this, bud? I think Nick might not be here actually. That's my bad.
All right, I'm back now.
Oh no, you are back. Just in time.
I was actually just getting ready to type in the chat right when you called my name. The thing is, more people in Hollywood are probably thinking the same way. They're just too scared to come out and say anything. Otherwise, they're going to get blackballed, ostracized, not get any work. And we've had several people reach out to Chris Gore who have literally said that exact same thing. Like, spilling the beans on so much different stuff with the whole DEI crap, but and they want to remain anonymous. They can't even publicly come out and say, hey, this is who I am, and this is a bunch of garbage, and this is stupid. Why are we doing this? And so props to him for coming out and speaking up and just saying, hey, this is me. This is what I think publicly.
Yeah. And just for everyone in the chat, just real quick as to why this is important. So this is to do with the Academy, and what the rules they impose get filtered down through to everyone. So even the UK, like Film 4 funding, British funding, any film funds anywhere will have exactly the same rules in place, because the Academy is the sort of upper echelons of the industry in terms of the complex itself, and everyone filters down through some form or another the same sanctions and rules in place. So when we're saying, oh, here it's everywhere, this will be everywhere and everything. And so it is important, although the Oscars are completely irrelevant, it will be incorporated into every single movie moving forwards, and we already see it anyway. So yeah, I guess expect more DEI dog shit and creative bankruptcy. And I'll say it again, and I've said it before, give me diversity through programming, not diversity through casting. When you have diversity through casting, every single product is a homogenous blob. It's all the same. Nothing is actually diverse at that point, because you're getting your black trans lesbian, you're getting your strong female, you're getting your simpy little white boy that's basically a little twig. You're getting all of this crap, right? It's all the same. We all roll our eyes and we go, well, of course they did that, of course they cast this, of course they gender swapped that, race swapped this, and blah blah blah. Shogun, and I say it again, Shogun is an exceptional piece of film, TV now, might as well be film. Absolutely beautifully made, utterly incredible. Feudal Japan, just feudal Japan, just feudal Japan, just feudal, brilliant. Just give me more like that. Start something in Africa, for God's sake. Tell me a story in Africa. Tell me a myth and legend from Vikings. Tell me something to do with Spain or something along those lines. Give me diversity through programming. Diversity through casting doesn't work. It's boring, creatively bankrupt, and shit.
Yeah. One other thing I'd say on this is that where these DEI initiatives are from the top down, sort of forced on the industry, whether you actually want to call it fascist totalitarianism, I'm not sure the word fascist really applies, but anyway, you could talk for hours about what that word has meant. Anyway, the idea that it's forceful. So it's a type of censorship, though. Then we're dealing with a type of soft censorship. If you're cutting out certain ways of doing things, i.e., less strong white men, less films like 300, where there's sort of white heroes, then it's effectively a type of censorship. Then now you're on a slippery slope. It's the thin end of the wedge. You are on a slippery slope, and I don't think it's too ridiculous to say what I'm about to say, is that the end trajectory of that is sort of a Maoist China, where the party allows 12 movies to be shown, and that's it. Obviously that's an extreme, taken to its extremes, but that is where the trajectory is, that we'll only allow these a very, very small number of things, or in Mao's China's plays usually, the peasants are only allowed to see about a dozen different party-approved plays. They have to watch the same ones over and over again. Or in North Korea today, men are only allowed to have, there's only about 4 or 5 different haircuts you're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know, that's where it ends. That's where this stuff ends up.
Yeah. Oh,
really?
no, absolutely.
Yeah, no, you are actually completely right. I mean, it is, when you say a form of censorship, it is a form of censorship. Well, and it is exactly that, actually, because essentially every film is the same. So yeah, you are right, actually.
It's 100% right.
And a certain product.
Yeah, but it's basically institutionalizing these racist ideals, right? The bigotry of lowered expectations. It's actually put in these things. It's like, you can't do this because, you know, you need our help. And it institutionalizes it. Not just that, but I mean, didn't your BAFTAs do the same bullshit?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like because when it comes down from the academy, it goes through everything. Literally, absolutely every institution has it. It's the industry of the institutional industry at large has it all. Yeah. They incorporate everything. It goes through to funding. You can't access film funding, charities, unless you do all of this stuff. It's exactly that. It is literally everything. It's ingrained in everything because it comes down from the academy. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage. So what Bo said is completely right. It is a form of censorship. The plebs have to consume, you know, a certain product. It's social engineering, or an attempt at social engineering. But yeah, fun times. Right. We do have some super chats on this, actually. So Traveling Tortoise, fantastic contributor here today. Another £20 says DEI is designed to destroy Western civilization. When everyone is equal, no one will be except our transgender, ethnically diverse overlords. It's funny, but it is also tragically true. But it also the intention is that no one is the intention is no one is equal, but a certain protected class and sort of characteristics for sure. But when you say DEI is designed to destroy Western civilization, yeah. I mean, it is. It's designed to deconstruct Western civilization and the what they perceive Western civilization being is simply whiteness, as Bo has said before. So their attempt to destroy it is a deconstruction of the whiteness from, you know, Western civilization, which just means no Western civilization at that point. Like, math is racist because it's a white construct and all this other crap. It's just utter nonsense. Such garbage. But yeah, good input there, Mr. Traveling Tortoise. Where are you traveling to? You traveling slowly. Another £5 here says, screw Hollywood people. They had their chance. They did nothing. Yeah. Well, I will say this David Mamet guy has been pretty consistent, actually. So,
yeah. And look, he's brought this conversation to the forefront. He's largely done with his career for the most part. I mean, if you look at his, his filmography, everything he's written, directed, produced, all of that, it's extensive. I mean, stuff like The Untouchables, one of my favorite films, State and Maine, About Last Night, which was, he's made that movie twice. Just a series of great things. And the guy just knows how to write dialogue. He knows how to write people. He understands people. And this is coming from a man who understands people. So he can tell you this doesn't work. It's total garbage. I mean, he studies man. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. I thought it would be an interesting story to discuss. I'm glad we did.
No, it is. It is interesting. I think these things are always quite. When anyone bucks the trend in Hollywood, it's always important to take a look at and see what happens and analyze the backlash that they get or they don't get. Because I think it's that pendulum that begins to swing. And if you don't give it airtime, that's bad. You're, I think, not necessarily becoming part of the problem, but, you want that pendulum to swing with some momentum. So it's probably important to, if you can, signal boost some of these things to get it out there a bit more. It's important. Anyway,